Like, why can't I do it? I made a goal in my burn it journal. Talk romantic tension for a minute, or rather romantic awkward. I am working towards being able to query by September. Hello everybody! It is the first week of May. I was trying to decide what I wanted to do in May and how I was going to be productive this month. I watched one of Emily Bourne's planning videos. It woke in me that fire that I used to feel when I first started bullet journaling, and I was like, yeah, I would really like to get back into bullet journaling, and I really want to try out doing a Kanban board. That still feels a little bit intimidating because I know it's going to be kind of time consuming to write out all of the different tasks and everything, and I wanted to start off with something a little bit more flexible, a little bit lighter. So I've got my bullet journal here. I started this bullet journal back in like September of 2018, and I got really into it for 2 months. I created like these cute little month pages and month at a glance pages. I also did one for October, and I really liked doing it. However, I think the reason it wasn't sustainable or that I didn't stick with it is because I made it a little bit too detailed, planning out the entire month ahead of time. So it made it take a really long time to put the whole thing together. Then I didn't end up using a lot of it because the month ended up going differently than I planned. It just wasn't very flexible, I guess. Instead of having these really intense plans for the entire month, I just created really simple checklists for the week. It feels a little bit more flexible because depending on how the day goes, I can just look in here and be like, what can I check off of this list for today? And then if I didn't get checked off, I can work on tomorrow or the day after. And I know I have an entire week to finish all of these things. And I'm just trying to finish as much as I can every day. This is my 4th day of doing this. And so far, I'm really liking the changes that I've made. Monday, Patrick and I are actually going to be driving to Washington to visit with Patrick's mom for Mother's Day. And we're probably going to spend a few days with her. So I'll be able to work on my schoolwork while I'm there, and then probably hopefully also some writing and reading things. Right now I am making dinner because I am procrastinating, putting off working on my book, which is what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks. It's easier to just do homework. So I'm starting from chapter 27. I'm rewriting chapters 27 through the end of this book. It's like, as I think about it, I'm really excited. I'm excited for the rewrites. I'm excited for all the changes that I'm gonna make. But then when I sit down to actually make those changes and to do those rewrites, I feel frozen. I'm like, why can't I do it? I thought it's been too long since I've written anything, and so now I can't write anymore. That's a lie. It's just like with every rewrite of the book. The beginning, there's always a lot of pressure because it has to be better than it was last time. And so I put all this pressure on myself in every line that I write. What I need to do is stop thinking about making it better and just write the changes and allow it to not sound good, because this is not the editing phase. This is another rewrite. And so I'm just writing another draft that is going to be imperfect, but is going to be better than the last one. I just need to get it out. I'm about to attempt my 3rd try at filming my video on how I did all my beta feedback stuff. And I've already filmed that video twice. I had it almost completely edited and ready to go up tomorrow. And I went to do the final edits on it, and it's just cringeworthy. For a year now, I've had this video in the back of my mind thinking, okay, I need to film that this month. Okay, I need to film that this month. And then month after month, it just didn't happen. Now, a year later, it's just really built up in my head to be a bigger thing than it needs to be. I'm just gonna film it now and make it super casual, unscripted. I have no notes on me right now. I might miss things that I wanted to talk about. At this point, I'm like, I don't even care what I talk about in this video. I just want to be able to explain how I sent out to my beta readers what worked, what didn't, and yada, yada, yada. By the time you guys are watching this video will already be put up, whether it's one of the scripted videos I did or it's one filmed right here outside with birds chirping and noise in the background. Okay, just finished filming it. I think it went better than the last 2 times that I tried to film it, but who knows? It is just super informal and messy and all over the place. This vlog is messy too. I'm just all over the place messy, and I think it's because quarantine is really starting to get to me. Like, I'm so over this right now. It's weird. I feel torn because I also don't want to go back to work. Like, no, I don't want to go back to work. I want to keep being able to work on my book, but something about the fact that I can't go back to work and that I'm stuck at home is like bringing me down a little bit. So it was really good that Patrick and I were able to go to Bainbridge Island and visit his mother for Mother's Day. Patrick is from Bainbridge, well, Patrick is from the Philippines, but he grew up on Bainbridge Island, and we love going there. That's like our happy place. That's where he proposed to me, was on Bainbridge Island. So every time we go back, it's just like this magical experience, and we're like, oh, so happy and so in love again. It was really nice to be able to go there. A little strange because we couldn't actually go anywhere because, hello, quarantine. To be honest, of course, we probably shouldn't have even gone to visit her, but she lives all alone and we really wanted to see her, and it was Mother's Day, and things are kind of starting to open up here now. Not so much in Washington, actually, and that made us feel a little bit guilty when we went there and she had the news on and they were like, we're not opening anything yet, and we're like, oh, whoops, we probably should not have come here. But we just stayed in her little apartment pretty much, except for the few times that we went for a walk through the woods and we went to the beach and watched some sea lions playing in the water, and it was so fun. But we avoided people. There was nowhere to go. Everything was closed, but it was really nice to be able to sit on the beach. I am diving back into the revisions of Untamable, and I made a goal in my bullet journal. I made a goal in my bullet journal last week to revise 1 chapter of Untamable, and it was chapter 27. So I told myself, okay, all I have to do is revise chapter 27. And I didn't because I was doing homework instead. And then this week, that was my same goal, revise chapter 27. And I tried and I tried and I managed to revise 1 scene the whole week. And now it's Sunday, so it's the beginning of week 3 of May, and I haven't really made any progress. And I realized I can't have an entire chapter be a goal. I just need smaller goals to be able to check off in my bullet journal to feel like I'm actually accomplishing something. Having it be as big as like, oh, a whole chapter, even when I do spend time working on it, if I don't finish the whole chapter, there's no little box for me to check off, and it makes me sad, and I'm like, what's the point? I decided, okay, I just need to break it down into scenes and be like, okay, there's a checkbox for this scene. When I finish with this scene, I can check it off. And I think having those little victories is going to help motivate me to write more than a chapter a week, because let's be honest, if I do 1 chapter a week, it's gonna take me like a year to finish revising this book. So that's what I'm gonna try to do in this new week, is I'm going to try breaking my goals down into smaller pieces and having little check boxes that I can mark off for the little things that I do, because it is addicting. Once I can check things off, I'm like, ooh, I want to check off another one. Does anybody else have that syndrome where you get a comment on a video, or you get an email from a friend or a text message, and in your mind you construct a reply and you think that you sent it, and then a month or 2 later you go back and realize that you never replied? That's what's happening right now with my YouTube comments. I thought, oh, I think I have 1 or 2 comments that I haven't replied to yet. I'm going back like, oh, I haven't replied to any comments on any of my videos for the past month. If you commented on my videos and I didn't reply to you, I'm really, really sorry, and I want you to know that I love you, and more likely than not, I constructed an amazing reply in my head and just thought that I sent it, and hopefully I will be better in the future. Okay, so I think I've just had an epiphany. Also, ignore the goat footprints all over my shirt, because all of my shirts have goat footprints on them now, and my pants are covered in mud because I can't ever make myself just put on dirty clothes before I go out there. Anyways, I'm on week 3 now of doing my bullet journal this way. For the most part, it's been working for me because it's flexible enough that I can do whatever I feel like doing that day and still be checking things off of my list. However, I've noticed that the thing that consistently keeps getting pushed to the end of the week and then doesn't ever get checked off because it never gets done is my writing. And I think that's because I keep putting my homework first in the day, and then writing is always for the end because I want to save it as like, this is my reward if I get my homework done. Doing it that way, my writing never ends up getting done. What if I just swapped it from one day to the next? So today, for instance, I had to do my homework first. Well, actually, I had to clean my room first, which is still not done, but had to give up at some point and work on my homework. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I had to do my homework first, and as I've been doing all month, I left writing for the end of the day. Then I thought, you know what? Tomorrow, I'm gonna put writing first and then do my homework after. Hopefully I can get a lot of homework done tonight so that I can feel totally free to just work on my writing first thing tomorrow and make some decent progress there. Okay, so I've been writing for probably about an hour now. Just got my little breakfast quesadilla here with some sausages. And so far the writing is actually going really well. I know this is a lesson that I'm constantly relearning, is that I have to be sitting at my desk to write. I mean, there are times when it is nice to sit at the couch and write or something like that, but that's the exception, not the rule. And I think that's nice after I've been sitting at my desk for a long time to write, and then it's just kind of a nice break from the desk once I'm already in the writing zone. But it's hard for me to get into the writing zone when I'm not sitting at my desk. It is nice to write first thing in the morning because I don't feel like I need peace and quiet to be able to do my homework. I can do that pretty much anywhere, I feel like. But with writing, I need to be doing deep work, and for doing deep work, I need it to be distraction-free and quiet. It's nice to do it in the morning because Patrick is asleep. I don't feel like I'm missing out on any quality time with him. Everybody else in my house has their own little morning routine that they're doing, so I'm not missing out on quality time with my family. And then, you know, the day hasn't really gotten started yet, so there's not really anything else that can distract me. Go break! Let's talk romantic tension for a minute, or rather romantic awkward, and writing it right. Writing it correctly. There's cute awkward, or there's just uncomfortable awkward. Sometimes it's hard to get that just right. The chapter that I'm working on today has a bit of that romantic awkward in it, that like new romantic tension, and it's kind of awkward and nobody knows what to say. The draft that I sent out to my beta readers, I didn't quite get it right, and it was more uncomfortable awkward. It was awkward, where you just like cringe a little bit, cringy awkward. But that's not what I wanted. I wanted it to be cute awkward. And so I was reworking those scenes today, and I think I got it right. And I feel a little bit tickled. I'm gonna be honest, I feel a little bit tickled by how well the writing session went. I'm still not done with the chapter, and I want to be done with the chapter by today. And here's the new little guy who wants to get up on my lap. The goats just line up now. They all want to sit on your lap all the time. Oh, here he comes. 2 baby goats on the lap. Anyways, okay, I need to get back to writing, but I'm gonna enjoy the goats for a little bit first. Okay, I've been working on this same scene for several days now, and I cannot seem to move past it. I was giving myself a really hard time about that for the first few days of this week. I had it in my head that I need to revise so many chapters per month or so many chapters per week in order to meet my goal. Right now I'm working towards the goal of having my manuscript ready for Pitmad in September. I was gonna aim for the July Pitmad, but there's no way in heck I'm gonna make that. And I'm doing this with Monique Diplock, who also has a channel on here. If you haven't watched her channel, I'll have it linked down below. I love Monique. She is just one of those really genuine people, and watching her channel, her love for her family just comes through so strong, and it just always makes me feel really good when I watch her. It's fun to have her to kind of be my accountability partner as we're both trying to work towards this Pitmad goal for September. But in order to participate in Pitmad, you have to have your entire manuscript ready to send to an agent, basically. And that means I have to have all of my revisions done and some light edits as well, because it needs to be a polished draft that I can send to an agent if any agents express interest, basically. And this is not to say that I'm 100% sold on the idea of traditionally publishing my book. I made a whole video on this, and yes, traditional publishing technically won out in that video, but since publishing that video, several people pointed out in the comments a few other items that I failed to bring up in the video, such as timeline. Self-publishing would totally win in the timeline category because I can publish my own timeline. Simon, no, you're not going outside. Come here. Rebecca Rodriguez pointed out that I shouldn't have given every item in that video the same weight. I gave everything a weight of 1 point, and she was right. I would actually give the whole rights thing 2 points towards self-publishing because that's such a big deal to me. So basically, I haven't decided which direction I'm going to take my book, but there are definitely pros and cons to each one, and I want to at least try for the traditional publishing and see what happens. So I just want to participate in Pitmad, see what it's like to query, and when I get sick of it, I'll probably self-publish. Just kidding, but sort of serious. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in my book. I am working towards being able to query by September with Monique Diplock. Monique girl, I don't know about you, but it's not going well for me. It is taking me so long. I haven't even been able to work past this one scene the entire month. We're already in the third week, at the end of the third week of May. So I was giving myself a hard time about that, but then 2 nights ago, I woke up at like 3 in the morning and I couldn't go back to bed because my cat was jumping on the windowsill, and the windowsill is right next to my head. So yeah, he was wide awake and it kept me awake. And so I was laying in bed thinking about my book and how long it was taking me and how discouraged I was by that. And then I realized that it doesn't really make sense for me to be discouraged about it taking a long time right now because I am on the refining phase of my book. Gone are the days when I can just bust out a fast draft and say, I'll fix it in revisions. Even in my first round of revisions, I could to a certain extent do that. But now in the third round of revisions, it's the refining phase. This is truly art, and I realized it's okay for me to take my time with it because I'm actually trying to make it the best that it can be now. I think it almost as like wood carving, where the first go around, the wood carver just chops off big chunks of wood and it doesn't really look like anything, but it's kind of getting that block of wood slowly more towards the shape that he wants. And then the next round, he defines it just a little bit more, but it's still big sweeps of wood that he's carving off. And now I'm kind of at that last, or at least second to last phase, where I'm going in and I'm carving out all of the details, and I can't just do that in one swipe and call it good because I might chop off a nose. It's a more precise work that I'm doing now, and I realize that I just need to be okay with it taking a long time. I've been working on this scene for probably the last hour and a half. I pretty much just wrote 2 different versions of how the scene could go, and I can't decide which one I like better. But then a third version came to my mind where I'm like, oh, actually, I think this would be better. I'm combining 2 chapters right now, which could be another reason why this chapter is taking me so long. I just want to combine the information that's revealed in these 2 chapters and do away with all of the needless fluff. And I'm like compressing everything, pushing scenes together, and so I'm trying to find ways to reorganize the dialogue so I can still keep things that I liked that I wrote originally. Some things just have to go because they don't fit anymore. But for the most part, I'm trying to maintain the integrity of the things that my beta readers really liked about these scenes and that I really liked. Try to keep all the good stuff, get rid of the unnecessary, and just make it nice and tight and compact. It's taking time. And it's not like I've been working on this all day, every day. I also have homework. So I realize I just need to be okay with this taking as much time as it's going to take. And yes, I still will be working towards that September goal for Pitmad, but if it doesn't work out, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. And hopefully not every chapter is going to be this complicated. I think I did start my revisions in kind of a rough place to just dive back into writing because it's right at the midpoint. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to the writing now. I'm drinking some Creo brew. This is cacao beans that are brewed like coffee beans, but it's not coffee, it's chocolate basically. Oh, it's so good. I just make it bulletproof by melting some butter in there, and then I've got some grass-fed collagen creamer with MCT oil, sweetened with stevia, and it's delicious. I love it. Kudos to you if you made it all the way through this. long vlog. Overall, I'm really happy with this new way that I found of doing my bullet journal, where it's just little boxes for me to check mark once I've completed a task for the week. I am not that pleased with how little writing I was able to get done. But again, I think I'm just writing a really difficult part of the book, and I jumped in at a difficult place. Next month, if I can't move on from this chapter and this scene, what I might try is just skipping around the book and seeing if there is anywhere that I feel like the writing is coming a little bit more naturally to me, or where I'm feeling a little bit more excited about writing it. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of psychological things going on here that are making it hard for me to write. But yeah, that is a wrap for this month. I hope that the month of May went well for you, and woohoo, June, here we come. I am ready for the summer. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
Rain, would you come and take a walk with me? We'll cross over the mountains and we'll reach the pale blue sea. I love you, I'm so glad you love me too. And I